Welcome back, Life in the Wine Bottle fans. If this is your first time, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and podcasts like Spotify, iTunes, and Google Play. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and like us on Facebook at Life in the Wine Bottle. This is part two with at Dallas Wine Chick. Make sure to listen to part one to hear how Melanie got started in wine and wine blogging. Enjoy the episode.
So now, I guess the biggest part, now I was just researching about wine bloggers, okay? And they say there's about, let me see, over 31 million, okay? 31 million bloggers posting at least once a month.
All in wine or in general?
In general.
Okay.
There's a big, okay? So in wine, I'm sure the number goes down a lot, but I want the listeners to understand how big this industry is, I guess you can call it, right? The blogging world isn't just a small, like, oh, I know a couple people blogging. This is a huge industry, and you're doing it once to twice a day, right?
Well, blogging once a week, but the rest of it, yeah, the social.
And then the social side of it, you're doing it, almost once a day. So
but to do a blog takes a lot of work. It's not just once a day.
I know. Somebody was asking me if I was blogging. I said, I'm not a good writer and I don't want, that's a lot of work. You really have to do a lot of research and put a lot of energy to it. And I'm not for it. I really don't have time. That's what it comes down to. So if I'm going to do something, I'd rather do it 100% and not just do it just halfway. So did you see any connection between your marketing firm and your blogging? Was there any, like, I know we kind of talked about it prior in the beginning, but you said you had some customers that like wine and then went into the wine world. How was that experience?
I think a lot of my customers share a love for wine. And so it's fun to go to dinner with them and everyone just hands the wine list over and just trusts you implicitly.
Okay. So for you, or are they trusting somebody else?
To me.
Oh, to you. Okay, so they say, okay, you're the Dallas Wine Chick. Here's the menu. Choose whatever wine you want, and then we'll get the food. That's basically what they're saying.
Exactly. Pretty much.
You got a big responsibility.
It is responsibility, but it's fun.
Okay.
And then I always try to give them something that they haven't had before, which is fun.
Okay, so you're always kind of experimenting a little bit.
Yep.
And kind of getting out of the bubble world that there's only one type of grape, which is Cabernet Sauvignon, and there's nothing else, right?
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of a fun fact that people always think Napa was kind of known for cabs, Cabernet Sauvignon. And I know they've been trying to grow a couple other things there, but that's kind of their go-to, Ramona is a little bit different. They're growing a whole bunch of different varietals. They're just starting up here. So that's pretty funny that they give you that responsibility because of your background.
Fun.
But it's great.
Yeah.
And then what about the trending? What other trending is going on with the wine world that you've been seeing besides the virtual tasting?
Definitely virtual. I think there's been a lot of realizations on packaging and supply chain with a lot of wineries trying to figure out how to get things from point A to point B.
Yes.
I think
states too. I know there's challenges in different states to ship to states. I don't know if you know about that.
Yes. Oh yes.
Yes, a big. I assume Dallas is okay. You're okay.
We're fine. The governor has actually opened a lot up compared to how it used to be with TABC.
Oh, nice.
Which is nice. But we're still one of the most challenging states to actually get into.
Really?
Oh yeah. We have a 3-tier system, and it's very challenging. Yes.
I didn't know that. Oh, yeah.
If you're thinking about Texas, we need to talk first.
Yeah, that's a big thing right there. Because I know New York is a little challenging, and everything has to go to a distributor, and then from there it goes to the wholesaler, and then by the time you get the bottle, it's probably like $5,000 instead of a $20 bottle. Yeah. So it's you see how it starts. Every time it passes somebody, they have to make sure there's a market sign on or a number sign on there to give it to you guys. And then so then the COVID. So you haven't seen anything too different going around besides those wine tastings and then the shipping packaging.
Well, I think it'll be. We were supposed to, as I said, be in Italy right now. and I think it'll be very probably heartbreaking to see what happens to these small winemakers in Italy and that have just not been able to sell their wines, have not been able to get them out of the country, and I'm hoping that my favorites will still be around when I come back.
Yeah. Is there are you still in contact with them, or is there any kind of feedback that have you talked to them lately?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
what are they saying right now? Are they just saying the government shut them down completely? Is there any reopening phase going on? Or
It's very slow. They have not. The ones I've talked to in the country, in the cities that I've talked to, have not been able to reopen yet.
okay. And how big is this winery? Are they what will you say acreage wise? Do you know vineyard size?
I mean, I'd say I'm just guessing
Yeah, that's fine.
about 5,000 bottles.
Okay. Yeah, so they're pretty medium size. I mean, they're right
Yeah,
above us. So they're small wineries. So for the listeners that hear that, they really are small wineries,
and
and
they're all family owned and they're generational, and it
and
just
and that's what they know,
yeah,
you know.
exactly.
And there's no like, oh, I'm just gonna start doing something else because it's not the States that you can just get up and just become own a gas station, then go own a winery, and then go own a super.
Yes.
It's completely different in another country. And so my background is Colombian, so I know a little bit about that. And
Okay.
there's actually, I think, one or two wineries that grow grapes in Colombia.
Really?
Yes, we went there last year, but we weren't able to make it. It was about like a 3 hour trip from where we're at. But I wanted to go. Hopefully, next time we can go travel out there and check it out with the
Oh
family.
yeah.
So it's a little bit different, right?
Yeah.
Wine in Colombia, not coffee. That's the normal. So that's pretty good. And do you think the virtual tastings? Do you think they're going to last more? Do you think that's kind of going to be the normal?
I think so too. I mean, I've seen bigger wineries basically say if you buy a certain amount, you will have virtual tasting with a senior member of our team.
Oh,
So,
really?
but I also think, people are still not comfortable traveling. While they may want that winery experience, they're not comfortable getting on a plane. And right now, if they're trying to go to Sonoma or Napa, they really can't stay anywhere.
Correct. Yeah.
Um,
I just have you heard of Camus?
yeah. Oh, yeah. I
Did you
can't.
hear his article? The
I,
Wagner family. So it was a good article, and of course, we agree with them because we do not sell food here.
yeah.
And for listeners, if you haven't read it, it was a good article. I believe his name is Chuck
Chuck. Yeah.
Wagner.
Yep.
He started a winery. We went there, I think, 2 years ago with my wife and my in-laws, and they have a beautiful winery in the Camus Winery, and their two kids, I think the daughter and son, became winemakers now. I don't know if you know that. They have some great wines too. Okay, I mean, it's really good flavors, good bold, great aromas. And he wrote an article, or they're basically suing the governor in California because they're not allowed to open, and restaurants or wineries that can serve food can open, but wineries that cannot serve food cannot open. And he had a great point saying, hey, we can be outside. I have my table spread out. We should open. And I thought that was really interesting because here we're trying to give a good push to kind of open up in our area because we're similar to like your friends in Italy. We're small. Most of them rely on this because a lot of them are retired. And if you can't move the product, there's no money coming in. And then the second part, for me specifically, we sit on our bottles and we let it age for a couple of years. So I don't have space for storage.
Right.
And
Yeah.
we can't
Harvest.
just, yeah. The harvest is coming. This year's pit, we're going to bottle 2016 wines. Okay. We're going to bottle 2016 wines. And I don't know where those bottles are going to go because that's going to be about, 5,000, 9,000 bottles there. So it's going to be real interesting. I hope I can sell, a couple of pallets worth, but I have no clue. We don't know what's going on. So, but yeah, I like that you say that the virtual tastings seem like they're like a good, hit. Have you seen anything unique about those tastings from when you do them with the winemakers?
The Jean Claude Bosset blending session through Raymond was pretty interesting.
Okay.
So
So then they give you what, milliliters of
they give
mass?
you
Is that what they're sending you?
the little the testers and milliliters. They give you 4 bottles, and then you go online and kind of figure out what you want to do. So it was Cab Franc, Merlot, and neutral oak, and then a oaked Cabernet.
Oh, nice. So
It
that
was
should be, that really brings the whole, if you're a wine lover, that's kind of what everybody wants to do, right?
exactly.
Taste, get the aromas, and then, hey, let me just blend a little bit here, right? You have a great time doing that. And then now from there, from now on, most likely, you're going to have that sense of, oh, that was kind of my bottle. I
Well,
held kind of,
if you want to
right?
pay more, they'll make your bottles for you if you do a certain.
So there's a little catch there. There's a little but hey, who doesn't want to have their own bottles? Their own name on the bottle. Have that part. So that's that's actually pretty funny. That's a great idea, and they're
Yeah,
really thinking outside the bottle. Really, that's
that's probably the biggest innovation I've seen.
yeah, that's a great idea. So anybody, I don't know if I'll do that. I think that's a lot of work, but it's
Yeah,
a great idea. Because they're in a little different bracket than us. Most of us here, we're in the vineyard.
yeah,
We're trying to market. We're bottling the bottles.
yeah.
We're tasting the barrels, and we're having our family. So I'm running around for kids. So um,
5 years.
yeah, a little bit longer, a little bit, but it's getting there. It is, it's, I'm still enjoying it, so that's not a big deal. So I want the listeners to know, kind of, you are a big deal, and then let me know how you got to this point, as in, how do you get this ranking? So Dallas Wine Chick listeners, or our listeners listening about Dallas Wine Chick, she's currently ranked the 31st in the world, correct? Okay, so not just in Dallas, everybody, all right? Dallas is pretty big, but it's not just Dallas. It is the whole world, and it's for wine blogging. So congratulations on that, because when we first emailed, you were 40,
Something
47%.
like that.
So somewhere a little bit higher, but now you're breaking it. You're getting to the top 20, you know? So how do you get to that point? Is there somebody that contacted you? Did you send out an email saying, "Hey, have all these followers"? What happened there?
I think FeedSpot is the ranking organization, and they go through and they look at your blogs, and I guess they put a quality number on it. They look at your social media followers, and they decide where you should be on the scale. So it's a huge honor, and
Yeah, that's great.
I was shocked.
And now that the numbers, so how long ago did you get on the list? Do you remember?
Probably 4 years ago.
Okay. And then you just been climbing,
Yeah.
lowering. Okay. So is your goal to get higher now that you're there, or you're kind of happy that you're just within the top 100?
I'm happy. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I
You're not
haven't really
worried.
changed anything. So,
Okay.
I'm not a I have to be this number kind of girl. This is just fun for me.
Okay. Excellent. So you hear that, listeners? She loves it. Okay. It isn't that somebody's not paying her, just doing it. No, she loves it. And she's having a great time doing it. So what would you think? So not why, but what is it making you so unique in the wine world, that you can influence a lot of the wine, I guess, customers? How you, what's making you influence them so well?
I think that it's because I don't give rankings. I don't tell people what they should like. I just, if I do a roundup, I talk about why I like it. And I think over time, people have tried different things and have decided that I like this or I don't. And then her palate may align to mine.
Hmm.
And those are the people that I hear from.
That's perfect. And then in the palate side of it, I can see that completely. Some, you're just kind of off. You're not the same.
Yep.
There's no if and maybe. They just, some customers like this wine than this one. And it's really strange. Because it can score really high on a magazine. It can score high on your blog. It can score high on a lot of points. But it's not as good as what you thought it was going to be for somebody, and that's just their palate, and that's okay, and that's what wine. I always say wine. That's one of the biggest parts of the wine world and the life of a bottle is it changes so much that it's just fun opening a bottle now, then opening in 5 years, and opening. I guess if you're a collector, opening in 10 years, and on forth, so forth. So you get a different aroma and taste, and it's fun doing that side. And
Yeah.
obviously, I'm a little fortunate because I'm able to do it. We've been, making wine for about 8 years now, so I can taste one that's 8 years ago, and then taste some that are coming out. So it's kind of fun seeing that side. And then, what about your? Can you describe a little bit about your blogging style? Is there anything specific that you see different than other bloggers, or so that listeners can kind of say, "Oh, okay, I like the way she talks, so most likely she writes this way, and I would like to follow her." Right?
It's really telling a story. Um, I'm not going to tell you that this is just a bottle of wine and here are the notes that I taste. And it's really telling the story behind the wine, how it was made, and who was behind it, and how it came about.
Okay. And then for anybody thinking of becoming a wine blogger, what kind of tip will you give them? Is there one specific one that you say, I should have did this in the very beginning, or no, just do it?
I'd say make sure you have a passion for it, because
Okay.
you don't want to put a ton of time and money and design into something that you're not going and build a following and then fade away.
Yeah, I can see that. And that's the hardest part about doing anything. It's just the world catches up to you, your
Yes,
life, and then your priorities start changing, you know? And it's kind of challenging to say, okay, I like doing it, but I got to do this, and then you forget about doing what you really are doing it for a purpose of enjoyment and just kind of giving feedback and sharing with the world what you like.
exactly. I mean, I'd say set realistic goals. My one regret is that the beginning of my blog were horrible. Make better photos.
As in, are you hiring somebody to take photos, or you're just getting better at taking
No,
photos?
I'm just getting better.
Okay. Is it an iPhone? Is it a Galaxy
Yeah, it's
iPhone?
just iPhone, that
Uh,
one.
Yeah, these phones. I mean, these phones are taking amazing pictures. When I do the podcast, like with a person, not a human person, but a person next to me, not somebody on Zoom. I use my iPhone,
Yeah,
and I record it there. So it's really nice to see that part. What about? I asked you if you had a wine collection.
I do.
So talk to us a little bit about your wine collection. And just to let you know, my father-in-law has a wine collection, and he did it just to let you know how he started. And that's a question for you. He went to one of our wine members' house. Okay, so we had a wine member. He's pretty successful. He did a little wine collection. I would say I don't have a picture. I mean, dimension size, but I would say is like a 5 by 5. It's a pretty decent room. Tall, high ceilings. So my father-in-law comes to me and he says, "Hey, we're gonna build a wine cellar," and I'm like, "Well, we got one." And just to let you know, we have a cellar that's 1,600 square feet.
Nice.
There's about 3,000 bottles of our product, and then we have 84 barrels in the
Okay.
cellar, and then that's where we do our tasting. I'm like, "What do you need wine for?" Like, where else? How much more wine? And he's like, "I just want one in my place." So he built one, and if you go to our podcast on our YouTube channel, you're able to see it. And it's about a 10 by 14 size wine cellar. And you can hold about 2,000 bottles.
Very
Okay,
cool.
so it's a pretty nice one. So talk to us about yours. Is this big, small? How many bottles?
We have Eurocobs.
Oh, sorry. You just broke up there. What was
Okay,
that?
we have 4 Eurocobs,
Okay.
and probably about, let's see, the ones that fit are probably about 575 bottles. And then we have stacked up cases next door.
Okay.
And then we have the sample closet right now, which probably has about 200 wines in it.
Oh my goodness. And what's the sample? What are we doing with these samples?
Um, I, I've made a commitment to try everything that I'm sent.
Oh
Um,
my goodness. And you have 200 bottles, you said.
right now, yes. Slowed
Okay,
down
guys.
a little bit with the pandemic because I used to just have like a neighborhood thing, and
Yeah.
you just can't do that anymore.
Yes, yes. Oh my goodness. So you're kind of stockpiling this stuff.
Not trying not to. Your liver can only take so much,
Yeah.
and I have to work, right?
That's great. Yes, that is great. Yeah, you got to wake up the next morning. That's the
Exactly.
biggest thing. Okay, so you got quite a so overall. And do you have anything else besides the
And no,
sample?
that's
Okay,
it.
so you're looking at 1,000 bottles,
Yeah, I'd say about
roughly.
yeah.
Okay, so that's a nice collection there. What about? Is there any favorite bottles that you just kind of always say, "Oh, I'm glad this winery is sending it to me," or you bought that you're like, "This is my kind of prized possession." And no,
You
no
know,
problem if you don't want to say a name, and and you kind of want to. I don't want the wineries to think that you're biased and anything like that. So let's
yeah,
go. How about this way? A favorite varietal. How about that?
I love champagne.
Oh, champagne, really?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay,
So
so that's good. And then, do you get a lot of champagne samples?
no, not in comparison.
Okay, guys,
Well,
the wineries out there, if you're listening, she loves champagne, so she wants to do a closet filled with champagne samples. So
oh
make
no,
sure you
I
guys.
don't need any more samples.
That's another one there. Okay, so you got about 1,000 bottles. You like more champagne style wine or a champagne?
I mean, I love to discover.
Yeah, yeah.
So
You enjoy wines different.
so I can't say I have favorites, but if I was stuck
Okay,
on a desert island, then that would, and I
you're
had
bringing the champagne. You're having that. What about most expensive bottle on there?
would be I can't tell you the exact year. I think it's an '84
Oh,
Chateau.
wow. Okay, and what's the cost right now? Did it go up in value? Is there?
The last I looked, it was somewhere in the neighborhood of $700.
Woo!
Yeah,
So is this a special occasion to taste, or is this never going to be tasted or drank?
I am not sure when we're going to drink it, but we will drink it because it's
Okay, okay.
special. And
Yeah.
everything, I think you should have the opportunity, especially in these times, right?
Yes, yes.
I can't tell you when you're gonna.
Okay,
It's
but
like
you
giving back.
will.
Yes.
You will. Okay. And to tell viewers, and that this is another like kind of fun fact. 90, I think they said 99% of consumers drink their bottle of wine within the first month. 1% are the collectors. Okay, just to let you know. So you're basically there. You're at that 1% that you're collecting it longer. And when do you get this bottle? Do you
Back in
remember?
I'd say the early '90s.
Okay, so yeah, you're a big collector now. So I want people to see that if you open up your collecting your cellar and you're just like, oh, I have some bottles from 5 years ago, you're a collector. But if you open it up and there's nothing there, or you just bought a bottle last week, yeah, you're not a collector. Which is obviously what wineries want to have is to buy it, have you purchase bottles. So since you've been tasting a lot from home, is there any recommended wines that you want to say, like new wines that you've been kind of tasting that you're really enjoying right now that you can recommend?
Oh gosh, that's hard.
Okay.
I can't endorse.
Okay. Okay. What about varietal? Was there a specific varietal that you've been seeing constantly coming at you, or?
I've had some really interesting wines from Spain and Portugal lately
Okay.
that have been sent my way that have been kind of fun.
Oh,
Uh,
nice. So
and
you're
especially
getting wines from outside Europe. You're getting wines from all over the world,
yes, but from the U.S. distributors.
from the U.S. distributors that they
Yeah.
found you in Europe. They have bottles here, and they're sending it to you. Oh, sweet. So
Although
that's even.
I did do a tasting last week with Massimo Sensi, and
I
he
saw
was
that.
yeah. So he was in 7 hours. Poor guy was 11 o'clock his time.
Yeah, and he made it work.
Yep, he did. He was
And
great.
I saw a little bit about it. Was it a good experience?
Yeah, yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Oh,
Um,
good, good. I gotta take a look at that. I saw it on Twitter.
it's
I wasn't
I'll,
able to watch it yet.
it'll be on the blog this month at some
Oh,
point.
that's probably okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was reading about, or you tweeted it a little bit. That you're getting ready for it. You're getting excited for it. So, all right, we're done with the whole. This is the end of the podcast. We're gonna do a quick little fun game that I created. It's called Spit Wine Game, and all it is you got 30 seconds. I'm gonna give you about 5 or 6 questions, and the first word that comes out of your mouth.
Okay.
It's going to be wine, though.
Okay.
Okay, so it's not going to be something that you need, not math questions, not the universe. No, it's about wine. The only challenge is that since I don't want you to endorse a specific, I'm going to change, I think, 2 questions. And I'll just change one of the questions and then won't add the other one. So it's real quick, as quick as you can. All right, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Red or white? 5, 4.
White right now. It's
White
hot.
right now. Okay, good. So I can't ask you this one. I guess favorite varietal?
I'd say champagne.
Champagne. Okay. Wine region. Wherever you can go, which one would it be?
Oh, I'd say Montepulciano or somewhere in Tuscany because I'm supposed to be there right now.
Okay, perfect. Last bottle you opened up.
Hold on, I have to look. Sorry.
No problem. No problem. This is why it's a game.
Greg Chill's Fume Blanc.
Okay, perfect. How was it? That's it. That was a game. Really quick.
It was good.
It was good?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. And then let's do it real quick. Give a little shout out about your company, where they can find you, just in case somebody is looking for marketing and and you can take up new customers. So quick little email or your website, and then shout out about your Instagram for Dallas Wine Chick, and then I'll just close off after that. So just go ahead.
Okay. If anyone is looking for B2B marketing, companies that need to tell their, shoot me an email at Melanie at Ofenloch, OFENLOCH, consulting.com. For anything blog related, I am www.dallaswinechick.com or at Dallas Wine Chick on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Perfect. So I want to thank you very much for this. I'm calling you Dallas Wine Chick from now on. Okay. Everybody, Dallas Wine Chick, I appreciate your time, your experience, your knowledge, just in the wine world. And do you want to add anything else? Is everything good there?
This was a blast. Thank you for including me.
Oh, good. I really appreciate all you do. I'll keep on following you and liking your stuff and reading about it and helping myself, get better in my with my bottles. And I hope the listeners can hear that too. So that's it. Our podcast. This was wine blogging with Dallas Wine Chick. Make sure you follow her, and also Life in a Wine Bottle. Subscribe to our YouTube podcast channel, Spotify, iTunes. Pandora's coming on. What else? And then Instagram and all that good stuff. So thank you very much, everybody.